John Ross with our XPian Daily Report for this last day of wrong month, last day of July, the 31st, 2020. So you're reading Proverbs. I'm looking for that good woman, too, on the 31. Yeah, I'm looking for that 31 woman. But we got a good 31 woman coming up here in a minute. And we're happy to bring on board. We're going to welcome Heather Russell, and we're going to bring her up here if everything works like it's supposed to. That's the other question. Oh, there she is. Okay, we put her on the left side.
Hello.
I didn't do that. That's just an automatic thing by our computer. Yes. Well, welcome to Heather, and she's going to share with the ministry that I got acquainted with Heather in the last few years through the Aurora Christian Ministry Network, and Heather has a ministry called Called to Teach, and she does various things with that, and I'm just going to let her share a little about what this ministry has been doing, and she's been doing this for several years, I assume, right, Heather? I've got that, and so we're going to welcome Heather Russell here, and Heather, what do you want to share with us today? What do you have to share?
Thank you, John. We just want to present our ministry to you, Called to Teach in downtown Aurora. And so we want to show you what we do, who we are, and let folks know that they can reach out to us if they need something.
Yes, I've been acquainted with you. I'll show that later about your mask. I'll show that later to everybody. Doing a lot of different things. And Heather, why don't you I'm going to go down. I think my audio's still there, I hope. And probably some of it's going to relate to COVID-19, some of what we're talking about. And so Heather's got a PowerPoint. Is that correct? What we would call it? Yes. A PowerPoint presentation that she's going to just show us a few things about this ministry Called to Teach. Now, called, that's a heavy word, Heather. I want to say when you're called, that's a Bible word too, I think.
Right.
When we're called to do something, that means we should do it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're not talking about was called to go to Nineveh. He did not go. And where did he wind up? Okay. We know that was 3 days in that whale. That wasn't too good.
No.
So when we're called, God gives us callings, and Heather's got a call here, and one of us with teaching and ministry here. So Heather, why don't you just explain a little how you got involved and how you got going with Called to Teach?
Well, basically, we started in 2016. There were a handful of friends and I that were retiring from teaching in public schools or private schools in the area, homeschoolers, and we talked about just filling ministry gaps in the Fox Valley area. So we decided to create a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It's a public charity. That's quite a task. So one of the things that we've been called to do kind of since then is to kind of help other groups pursue what their passion is and their calling is, and create a 501c3 as well, whether that's a public charity or private foundation. We've talked to several friends and family about doing that, just to leaving our legacy, what God's calling is on our life to do in so many ways. It's not just in a church building. What we're seeing now, especially with COVID, the church buildings and the ministry buildings are not open. We're not able to carry on our activities in the way that we used to. So we're getting creative. God's giving us new ideas of how to do that. Here we are online with you, John, and so it's been a blessing. So we thank you for this opportunity to share. I have some pictures and some PowerPoint things to give you a little better idea of what we do in the area. So We can,
Heather, did I lose your PowerPoint or not?
yeah, I don't see it. I see myself.
Yeah, I think we lost the PowerPoint. I was going to put it up. You got it going there again?
It was, yeah, let's try it one more time. Let's see
I
if
think
we
we
can.
got it now.
Okay, there we go. So that's
Okay, I'll put it up here now. There
our,
it is.
our
Now I'll
information.
put, Heather suggested, and I probably agree with that. We're going to put Heather down, and she's going to be talking about her PowerPoint, and that beautiful face will just put her down. And okay, we got you down, Heather. There you can go.
Okay, so basically, like John was saying, we used and chose the word called for a very specific reason. When we're called to do something, it's not just a suggestion. It's what God is really placing on our hearts to do. And so, called to teach, we're a bunch of teachers. We have the required 3 board members that the Illinois state requires to start a small educational faith-based nonprofit. And so we have 3 of us. We are called to teach specifically. So we are training, educating, and creating hope in the Fox Valley area. We do that through connections. Like John said, I met him at the Christian Ministry Association meetings on Tuesdays that we've had the last several years. I've met him at Warehouse Church, at prayer meetings, and different things out in the community. So we're making connections with other folks in our community. We like to have adventures, which means we're helping some homeschool families, maybe, and especially now with COVID, giving them resources and ideas for how to educate and school their children in non-standard classroom building kind of ways. We offer classes ourselves, either at our office on Galena Boulevard in Aurora, not now during COVID, but we were hoping to open our doors back up to that. But we also do a lot of off-site classes. I've spoken at women's retreats at different churches in the area, St. Charles, Aurora, Batavia. We have classes in small groups that we can bring to your small group, like if there's a Wednesday night group and you would like to do something specific. So there's all kinds of learning modules that we can offer you and your organization or your church and family. Of course, we want to do all of these things through love. We're an education-based nonprofit, so we want to always educate, teach, and show people new ways to do things. And then, of course, through development, we want everyone to realize their full potential and their full calling on their life by helping them to develop in different ways. And so I'll show you some of that.
Heather, I want to ask you one question. Have you done anything with Zoom?
We have started some Zoom stuff. We are hoping to actually record some Zoom classes or either do some more Facebook Live
Okay.
through our Facebook page. We have a call to teach. It's always called and then the number 2 teach.
Right.
And so we will be, you can search for us through that. But like everyone is kind of struggling to get ramped up technologically, we are doing that same thing.
Great.
And of
Great.
course, we're going to talk a little bit later of why specifically during COVID, our ministry kind of switched gears and had to
Right.
meet a need. So we'll
Like
share that
everybody's
as well.
shifting gears. Right. Right.
Yes, we'll share that as well. So just to give you guys a little background, I grew up in Aurora. My parents were both East Aurora High School grads. They were Tomcats in the class of 1965. My mother taught math at Simmons and East High from 1971 to 2002. My father actually taught at Allen and Waldo as well. And so I have grown up in downtown Aurora, and ironically, sometimes in our lives when we get to be teenagers or 20 somethings and we're choosing our own life paths, we think we know best maybe at that point. And so I really wanted to find a teaching job not in Aurora. When I graduated from NIU and became a teacher, I was a Spanish teacher in the foreign language department at
Hablo
St. Charles High
español?
School. Sí, sí, yo hablo español, yes. So ironically, my mother was born in China. They came to the Aurora area and they actually owned the Strand restaurant on Broadway, down past Merchants, between Merchants and old Home Savings, the old Home Savings building on the corner on that block of Broadway was the
On
Strand
Broadway?
restaurant. Yes, on the
Was
Strand.
it the
Yep.
Paradise Inn?
No, the Strand restaurant was
Okay, I
American and
remember. I had
Chinese
a friend
food.
that had the Paradise Inn, I
Right.
think, I
Yep.
believe.
We know the Park family as well. Yep.
Yeah, okay.
So yep, we had, and so ironically, I was saved, meaning I came to a saving faith in Jesus Christ through Central Bible Church, which is right down on Galena Boulevard as well. My mom came from China at age 11, and she did not have the ability to have her mother come into the country at the same time she did. So, ironically, a restaurant at the Strand. A waitress at the Strand restaurant had always prayed to be a missionary in China. And then she later got a job as a waitress in a Chinese restaurant. And when my mom came and didn't have her mother with her, this waitress, Aldine Bennett, took my mom under her wing. Her daughter is about the same age as my mom, Yolanda. And they were good friends. And my mom came to a saving faith in Jesus. And she was able to, even though as a public school teacher, she was able to minister to lots of kids through mathletes, through pom-poms and cheerleading, and sitting in that ticket booth outside of the football field at East Aurora, just being a light and a guide to many students for over 30 years as she was a teacher. And so to honor my parents, they have both passed away now, we decided to start this educational nonprofit where we are going to help fulfill teaching and ministry gaps in schools and other ministries right here in the Fox Valley area. That is why we started Call to Teach in 2016.
L. Wagner was another. I knew another L. Wagner.
Oh, well, some people know my dad because he flew pigeons. And so
Okay,
he grew up near Pigeon Hill and stuff
okay.
and flew in the racing. Yep.
There was
In
an L.
Aurora.
Wagner at my First Presbyterian church too. Same name.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Now you're an East Sider.
I grew up on the far west side out by
Oh, see, I
Sugar
was
Grove.
wondering, your
Yeah.
parents were on the East Side
No.
teaching. Did you go to
Yeah.
East Side schools or West Side?
No, I went to Caneland, actually. I was on the
Oh,
other side of the
Caneland, you're
line.
further west yet.
Yep, my parents actually kind of had a policy that they didn't really live in the district that they taught in.
Okay.
That was because my mom is a high school teacher. Some people remember her as the Dragon Lady. She was a very strict math teacher
Oh,
uh,
okay. Okay.
in the 80s, and she our house would have been TP'd quite a bit, I have a feeling. But
Okay.
yeah, when she retired, we had a great event for her at Village Bible, and lots of former students came, and
Oh,
it was in the
neat.
Beacons.
That's nice.
So yeah, in my parents' honor, then of course, as teachers and contributors and influencers in the Fox Valley, that was why we decided to start Called to Teach. My siblings and I are all teachers at some point in our lives at private and public schools.
Right.
And so we're just trying to carry on that legacy. And now, of course, I'm retired from teaching full time, and my husband allows me to volunteer full time, which is a blessing. So
Okay.
in 2016, we decided to incorporate, get going. I had been attending other churches in the area, and God called me to go to Warehouse Church, which is right downtown in Aurora as well. And so when I was looking around and networking through Christian ministry and some of the other prayer meetings and influencers meetings, I came to find out that PIC, the Pregnancy Information Building right there on Galena, had some rental space. So we have some space in the basement that we have a classroom and storage. And so that is where we are mainly. Of course, you're seeing me in my dining room today at home because
No,
we're
I
not.
haven't put it up. I'll put it
Yeah,
back up in a
yeah.
minute.
When we were on before, we're just at home, just like everybody is during this
Right.
pandemic. So we have space down there, and like I said, we do attend prayer meetings. That prayer walk that happens in May every year comes right down
Right.
Galena Boulevard, goes right by the building where we're at. We offer Bible studies, book clubs. We do mentoring. We have offered as well material assistance. We try to transition women and girls out of LifeSpring is one of our partners, which is the girls' side of Wayside. And
Right.
so I have helped with that. We have done some coat and warm clothing ministry. We put scarves and hats around town, and especially on the porch at Warehouse Church in the winter time for those who need it. We've done backpacks for school children in the Aurora area as well. And then, of course, besides material assistance, we really want to offer classes and courses. So we do small business training, vocational training, computer training. I do several sessions of Facebook for grandmas. If you're a grandma and you don't know how to use your phone or FaceTime or something, I can meet with you somewhere or we can do it now, Zoom, if we could get it going. But I've met with folks at a Panera restaurant or somewhere that has Wi-Fi, a coffee shop locally, and teach you how to hook up to the Wi-Fi with your phone. So we do all of that kind of stuff to just offer classes that people need. When LifeSpring, the girls part of Wayside, asked me to come be an online or an on-site teacher for them, that means we're off-site at Called to Teach, but I actually go into LifeSpring Center, which is on Root Street. I teach a weekly book club and Bible studies. The special classes that we do are typically these three books. Sensible Shoes is a fiction book about ladies walking the journey of life together on their spiritual journey. Red Sea Rules is very practical for navigating difficult times in your life. We usually do that in the winter. And then Lies Women Believe are the summer books that we study with the ladies that are in residence at LifeSpring.
What are some of the lies that women believe?
Well, let's say that God, our Heavenly Father, is just like our earthly father. That's not true.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
And
well,
so
that's
that's a
the other
famous
way
book.
around too. That God for men would be God. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so there are a whole bunch of lies in that book that we cover, and that book's been updated. That's a famous book by Nancy Lee DeMoss Walgemuth, and so we study those
Okay.
book clubs. That's something I do weekly. We also do special events. We actually had a hosting or not hosting actually, because we went to the theater, but 2 years ago we did a Tortured for Christ sponsor tickets for folks in the area to go see that viewing. And so we do some special events as well. Pre-COVID, I had to change that on our list here. Pre-COVID, we did Bible journaling classes, drop-in workshops, and advanced courses. That's actually how to color and digest and artfully pursue what God is teaching you through His Word. And so we do those classes on site. We've done them at churches as well, and women's retreats, like a Saturday afternoon or something if you need that. We do life journaling, bullet journaling classes. We do actually have a board member who is a accomplished seamstress, quilt maker, and so we've taught sewing classes, sewing for baby classes specifically. Some of the girls from PIC, from Pregnancy Information Center, wanted to take those classes. We do crafting for causes. So actually we get together and we teach people how to craft so that they can sell things. Some of the LifeSpring girls wanted classes like that. And we also have classes so that we're actually making something, but we all have enough stuff in our own houses. And so it's either to give away as a gift or for other ministries like Operation Christmas Child, which we'll talk about later. But there you can see we've done salads in a jar. We've taught folks how to cook in their crock pots, and even done fairy and miniature gardening classes. So there really is no limit to what kinds of classes Called to Teach offers. There's such a need, and a lot of times our classes are free or just for the material fees, less than $10 to participate. So that's also something, especially here in the Fox Valley, downtown Aurora, having it be not cost prohibitive, that anyone can participate is one of our goals as well.
Now, did you do a crock pot class on the 15 bean soup?
No, I don't know how to make that actually. But
Yeah, well,
yeah,
that's one of the good ones. 15 bean Hearst. I think it's Hearst brand.
yeah.
Soup.
Well, crock pot, yeah, those are just great, and especially
Yeah,
in the winter, it's just great to do. So yeah,
yeah.
there's
So I've done. That's my little cooking, but that it is one. The crock pot is very good.
yeah, when people ask me what classes do you teach, I say, what class would you like to take? And I'll tell you which class
Oh,
that
I
we
see.
have for you. So that's a great way to do it.
Okay.
Here are some of the books that we've taught as well. True Women classes, Lisa Turkhurst classes. Those are famous Christian authors. And like you said, Proverbs 31 women that really help us on our journey. We have folks that are accredited to teach Financial Peace University, Wife of Noble Character, Ken Sandy's Peacemaker, and Priscilla Shire's Armor of God classes as well. So if your organization or group needs a teacher for that specific book, and you're saying, hey, we got a small group of men or women or mixed that want to take that class, but we don't have a teacher, but we want that book, that's something that you would get in touch with us, and we'll find you that teacher to help you out with that.
I mean, you're like a substitute teacher.
Yes, we do like to fill in those ministry gaps. I also have
Okay.
had opportunities to help some local schools. I've gone into Covenant Christian School. We actually also had a kids club, after school kids program that we had at Bardwell last year, Crossroad Kids Club through Warehouse Church, and
Okay.
Fox Valley Christian Action also as a part of that cooperation. And so, yes, if you need something taught and you need to find a teacher, then that's why you would want to contact us. Yep.
And you'll find the teacher,
We try
hopefully,
to,
right?
yep, we try to plug that in for you, network, and find the right person to help you with
Good.
that. Yep.
That's a good thought. Good thing.
So lastly, besides just ministering here in the Fox Valley area, not everybody can, go on mission trips. I've been blessed to travel with my husband on business as well as ministry for the last 30 years that we have been together and married. And so we have a global ministry partner, and that is Samaritan's Purse Operation Christmas Child. I am actually the local area coordinator for Kane and Kendall County of Operation Christmas Child's efforts here. So we have local churches and that collect shoe boxes. And so we also have, I'm so excited, it gives me the goosebumps every time, the processing center. After folks pack shoebox gifts and they drop them off at a local church, the next step is a processing center where we inspect them, making sure there's no food or contraband or weapons or anything on the do not ship list that are packed into those gifts, right? It's supposed to be a gift for a child, anywhere from 2 to 4, 5 to 9, or 10 to 14-year-old girl or boy. All those gifts are collected. But at the processing center, here's a picture of my husband and I. We went to Boone, North Carolina to visit our daughter in 2016. And we came back and knew that God was calling us to do something more with shoeboxes here in our local area. So we decided to partner with Samaritan's Purse. And so now the Minneapolis Processing Center has moved to Chicagoland. Last year it was in Des Plaines. So if you want to go volunteer at that processing center, inspect the boxes, and then that final step of the journey here on this side of the shoebox is that we load them onto sea containers and pray over them, close those sea containers, and then the very next people that open those cartons and those shoeboxes are the kids all around the world. And so here in the Chicago area, obviously Samaritan's Purse has been around for since 1993, is the Operation Christmas Child portion of it. And so we celebrated 25 years in 2018, which means this is our 27th now in 2020 collection season. And so each year right here in the far west suburban Chicagoland area, we collect about 15,000 shoe boxes. And so Warehouse Church is our local one right to downtown Aurora. And we have Plainfield, Naperville, Plano, and then just this week we recruited Christ Community Church, the large campus in St. Charles, to be a central drop-off. So those churches, the third week of November, will be collecting all of those shoebox gifts. And I hope to get online here with John on another day and present specifically the shoebox ministry here in the local area and worldwide.
Okay, I'll be
to all
down
of
the
you.
road thinking about our Christmas time. Yeah.
Right. Yes, we just finished Christmas in July, and I think when you see me on live again, you'll see that I have a Christmas tree behind me in my dining room here. It just is how I am Christmas all year long.
Okay.
So we'll be doing Bikers with Boxes. That's something through Warehouse Church that we launched last year, and collecting shoeboxes, riding their motorcycles around this fall as well. So keep that in mind, November, the week before Thanksgiving. And so again, we're here locally, right on Galena Boulevard, to help with folks, whether it's your family, whether it's a small group, your church, your ministry, a school that needs a teacher. Feel free to contact us, and we would like to fill that need. And so the last thing I wanted to say, we're not really sewing as much right now as we had been, but between the two board members and I, we have supplied almost 2,000 now hand sewn masks, face coverings, ear savers locally here in the Fox Valley area to those in need, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. So if you have a need for that, you can also contact me and we will see what we can do to help you guys out. John, were you going to show
Yeah,
your
I'm going to
mask?
come back up here now.
I was going to say, John, I'll give it back to you because I think you wanted to speak to
Yeah,
that.
and I also wanted to show that Heather I gotta make sure this is the right way. Yeah, there we are. Yeah, it's a good mask. I've been using it
Yep,
for weeks
yep, I
here.
have mine too, yep.
Yeah, and Heather, you want me to show this other picture? I'll show you
So
this
if you
one.
need a mask, yeah, see, good luck.
No, no, here's a picture of you in another mask. Is that the same
Yeah,
one?
nope, that's a different one. I have several because I sew them myself, so I can
Right, right. Why
decide which
not?
one. That was my frozen one. It was a very cold day that day, but it's hotter now
Okay.
in July. So yeah, we're pleased. You know, the Lord calls us to see a need and to meet a need, and that's what happened in March when all the COVID-19 pandemic started, or
Well, I
everything
put
shut
out
down.
that I needed a mask. I forgot how I did that, but Heather
Yep,
responded almost right away,
yep,
and that was
yep.
real nice of Heather there to give me a mask. Uh, and they've been good, and most of the stores I've been going to, I mean,
You need
you,
one. Get
you need
in.
one, and you
Yeah,
need it in other events too. And we got to keep encouraging that people wear masks, and even some outside gatherings should have masks too. Uh,
well, and mainly it's
yeah, because
that's what we're required to do.
I've been outside a couple events, and people say they wear masks, and then all of a sudden they're within 6 feet without a mask. I go,
Oh,
oh, this is
that's
not what you're
scary.
supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, and
And they want to talk, but they got to have that. I know it's tempting, but we
yeah,
got to watch out here. And this little guy is not. It's not done yet. It's not done with its deeds of
no,
disaster for us. And Heather's been good on that, and her group's really moving in a lot of different ways. I got to know a little more about what's going there with the group there, and I'm gonna put something. Just one. I got too many. I'm doing my extra job here. Excuse me.
yeah, we all have to be
Yeah.
multitaskers
I'm
from home.
multitasking here. Uh,
Mhm.
now, I just want to remind everybody. I don't have it. I didn't get to do this for this session today, but remember about doing that U.S. Census and keep getting
Yes,
that in. And otherwise, I think maybe on August 11th, that's what I heard from my friends Dan Barrero and Denise. What was Denise's last name? Well, up in Raleigh, up in Elgin, they brought that up. I think August 11th is when they're going to start going door to door. If you
right,
don't, then we got to get a good census because it helps everybody uh,
right. So
to get good money. And what now?
if you don't know how to do it online, that's one of the things that we do is we help you
Oh,
guys
really? You're a
navigate
teacher?
through,
That's right. You're a
yeah, through
teacher.
online. Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. And I know you can do that to public library. They have
Yep.
some computers open for that. Aurora does, and I think other towns do too. So, and there's a phone number too you can call. I don't have that in front of me right now. And the other thing was, if you need a test, my friends at the VNA are offering tests for the
Mm.
COVID-19, and the costs will be covered too if you don't have that money to. Then it's initial cost. But so that's free. COVID-19. That's I'll give you that number. I got it so memorized now. My 89630-892-4355. That's 892-4355. Now, Heather, we didn't touch base. I should have thrown that up. Like we said, we do too many tasks here at one time. But you have a Facebook site, right?
Yes, we do. Uh-huh. And you
Yeah,
can
so
search
it's
called
under
teach
and it's under called and then the
the
numeral
number two.
two teach, right?
Correct. Yep.
And the
Yep.
same on the website, but it's .org, I believe, right?
Correct. Yep. Our website is called to teach.
Calltoteach.org or Call to Teach on Facebook. And
Correct.
Heather's going to be having more stuff you're saying on Facebook's coming, some more stuff. You were suggesting that you're doing more on Facebook live things or something you were saying.
Yeah, we will offer some classes perhaps that we can now adapt through technology and do it online rather than in person. Yeah. Of course, not
Yeah.
everyone uses Facebook, so we would want to post
Right.
that to
No,
our
that's
webpage as well,
I
so.
my understanding is you can't connect to Facebook Live without being on Facebook, I guess.
Correct. Right, you need a
I
Facebook
haven't
account.
experienced it 'cause I've always been on Facebook, so I
Right.
don't know about that caveat, but that's what they say. And so I just thank Heather for being with us here. And oh, the other thing, man, my technology, I didn't get my graphic artist guy didn't get going too good here, but we'll see you on Monday too at 5, Lord willing. And so I just want to thank Heather for being with us today and sharing about Called to Teach and what she's doing. So
Thank
just a
you.
big thank you to Heather. And so I'm going to do my, well, it's not quite, yeah, it is Spanish. Adios. Uh,
Adiós.
that's my little Spanish, but
Hasta
Heather
luego.
can do more. God bless you and bye bye. And again, thank you, Heather, for sharing with us today. And we'll see you soon again, hopefully on Monday. Bye bye
Thank
now.